This week on the show, we're featuring blue apatite, Diopside 2 under the microscope cam, Rustoleum on Why'd I Buy That, 21 new jokes, and a ruffle-sized bag of rigidity. A farmer has been giving his horses allergy medicine because the horses have a nasal problem. Let's start the show. This is a lovely little chip of blue apatite I shaved off of the side of a normal. Kind of ground the roughness out of the normal, took a look at it, said this is a nice little pattern, and I cut it off because there was like a big crack. And I looked for the saw footage and I can't quite find it. But I did find Buds and Hazard. Great to see you, homie. Hope you're doing good. Time to cheers it up. Oh, and time to start the chat bot. Let's do that. That's cold Mountain Dew. I like it. Great. Chatbot running. Now you can throw tomatoes during the joke portion. Or anytime. How's it going? How's your week? Dropped it down in there. Gotta get the old rusty getter. Sometimes I can just poke it down the drain hole, but I think that one's a little too big. That's a cool sky blue. I'm going to show you the piece I cut it off of under the microscope cam. Let me go ahead and get that out. I can kind of show you why I cut it off instead of just leaving the piece a whole piece. And it kind of has to do with how the pattern's fairly even, the color's fairly even, there's no big lines or anything. I really like this piece. I really appreciate the compliment. Apatite is a rather soft stone, but it still has its hardness. I actually cut this thing into a little old wafer and it didn't break apart. I like that. So here's the size of the piece up in the corner. Boop. And this is the surface that I cut it off of. Right? Yeah. So you kind of see the basic shape of where I got it from. And then you notice, excuse me, there's a white line there and a line there. And, you know, you see the difference in the color. And this doesn't have that. It's a nice, I mean, it's got shadowing from the container, but it's something I need to open up and pull out. Let's whip it out. Boom! It's got cracks and stuff in it, but for the most part, it's got a nice blueness to it. So, you know, it's thin. We could stick that on a ring pretty easy and just pow. Let's see if I can get one of them costume rings out. There we go. Be something kind of like that. That's not really showing it, is it? It's so hard to keep hold of these darn things. Yep. Alright. Let's go ahead and get to the microscope portion. This is a short gem. I got to get back out there and keep working on my car. Actually went and organized my tools that I had in the car there. And was like, you know what? This is a good time to vacuum it. Might as well squeeze a little Armor All on there too, huh? Wound up doing that. Very nice, very nice. Much like seeing my friend buzzing the hazards. It's very nice, it's very nice. Hope you're ready for some more jokes. I got some headline jokes I wrote. Did a couple open mic nights this week. What did I do? 3 of them? And one of them was pretty good. I should play the tape of it after the show. Maybe, maybe not. Anyways, let's get to the microscope portion. To be honest, I am a big old heaping fan of this blue apatite. I really am. I like this blue apatite because it's like my favorite color of blue. And there's dark blue apatite and light blue apatite and all range in between. But I wanted something that looked really good on my Instagram, right? And so I fired this up, sawed this piece off, and it turned out nice. And I was like, all right, we need something blue. And this is like my favorite color. I mean, it is. I'm gonna keep this gem. This is a Jacob's Collection gem. Boom. Oh wow, we're almost done with the show already. Yikes. That'll happen. Little much. That's a little better. What are we turning a little bit? Okay, I have to rebuild my Prius hybrid battery this month. Yipe. So what do you mean when you rebuild the battery? You mean like you get new cells or you get a new cell? Buds and Hazard. Ow, my fingers. Love that joke. See, back before the 2008 recession, 2009 recession, I was a battery scientist for lead acid batteries. One of the things I would do, well, like a typical process of what I would do is that the people would make these composites and then they'd put them into a cell and then give them to me, and I would type up the test and then go back to the lab and hook them up to the machine and then take the data and talk to the older scientists about it, the more experienced guys, and then we would go and cut those cells apart and look at them and study them. And so I could talk about batteries for hours. I've got some theories that I never got to test. We just couldn't get more money and that kind of stuff. New cells, gotcha. Okay. So yeah, you are kind of rebuilding the battery itself. That makes sense, because when you have one cell go bad, that can draw the other cells down. What do we got in the second footage? Maybe I can roll a little bit more of the other blue apatite footage, because I'm not sure if I'm actually going to feature this guy or not, but I got this other piece of blue apatite I shaped. I'll throw it under the scope of cam here. You can see it's a nice shape, nice unique shape, but it's not as blue. It's pale, so pale. I'm proud of it, proud of the shape, and it's got the, you know, the slashy lines and stuff that kind of match the shape itself. I like the gem, but it's so pale compared to this other guy, you know. I'll hold it up. Nope. That's the problem with dropping them. I busted the tip off. It's so thin. Only figures as much. And I just busted the tip off. First gem I ever broke on the show. See, this one's got the nice blue. This one doesn't. Gonna have to reshape that end, I guess. Snap! That's what I get for not being a little more careful. But that's one of the nice things about being able to make your own gems, right? You just make another one. It's one of my favorite things. I get bored with the gem, I just give it away, sell it, and make another gem. Got all kinds of gems. Welcome to the show. I like how it's so blue and it's got the little sparkles in it. Catch it in the right light. That's why I was thinking, you know, if I could mount it on like a necklace or something. I was really thinking about getting some tools to do some like steel wire mounting, stainless steel wire mounting. I mean, that just seems like fun, you know. Actually make some jewelry. Because right now all these gems are just like decorations. They're toys. They're bubbles. They're unfinished. But if I started making them into jewelry, that'd make it a commodity, right? It would make a cool pendant. Oh, that's exactly what I was talking about. Yep. Oh, crap. Crapoliosis. That happens. So here's the diopside I showed under the microscope cam last week. I flattened it out so I could get rid of the cracks. And I didn't flatten it down all the way. You can still see a couple of the pits. Because I didn't grind it too incredibly far. Just far enough that we could see down into it and see what's going on with it. So let me go ahead and get the mirror. And we'll have a better look under it. Oh, I got to show that other piece under the... that piece of apatite under the thing. Okay. So there, it's got that big crack in the middle. And diopside, it's hard to get a big piece of clean diopside. So this is actually a commodity in itself. It's thick. It's thick as all get out for diopside. Usually diopside's got little flaky layers. Let's see if I got a piece of the diopside I usually get. This is the diopside I usually get. Little bits. It's artistic in its own right. But look at how little them bits are. I mean, it's, you know, it's neat and all. But they're so little. Little shiny bits. It is a big old chunk, huh? Nice color of green too, right? So anyway, this is something that I'm going to split. I'm going to split it down that crack. I'll probably come back from the other side and then just, you know, let the crack be split and we'll have two pieces and then we'll make it into a thing and we're going to have another feature or two for the show. So that's a thing. Here's the blue apatite that I cut the thing off of. Notice how it's got this white line in there. So that's where I'm talking about it. You know, it's kind of like this is another piece upon itself. And then this is like a darker blue. So I'll probably wind up cutting this piece off too. But it's got this stuff in it, this dirt, basically. It's shale and feldspar. And that could go all the way through it. So there could be a spot. Whereas the piece up in the corner, the feature this week, no spots, baby. Nice, good color all the way around. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I'm liking it like a lichen that's stuck to a rock. Not one of those lichens that's in, what is that? Is that a Legend of Zelda thing? The lichens that attack you? They're going to attack this blue apatite. Not like a lichen. Probably way off on that reference. Anyways, we're almost to the wide eye by that portion of the show. I wanted to do one other thing, and that was look at this, actually two other things. I wanted to look at this piece of amber under the microscope. Because I had this big chunk of amber. Speaking of dropping gems, it had a huge crack in the back, so I was going to take the back end off of it. And it's kind of neat. It's got a lot of neat stuff in there. I'm not sure how to finish shaping it up. Might just go for a big old teardrop, you know, big old sugar drop. It'd be pretty cool. But I dropped it, and this back end popped off. So I shaped it into this shape. It's asymmetrical right now. Not sure if I'm going to shape it symmetrical or not. That's the kind of the side shape from the edge of the girdle. I don't know. We're at that point where I need to make that decision. Let me zoom in a little bit so it's focused. There we go. Then I got these surface cracks, and I got this divot over here in the corner. I don't know how to deal with that, you know. I mean, I cut this little edge facet over here. I cut it so deep already and so tilty. I try not to tilt them too much. So I'm not sure about that one. We'll see about that. We'll get there. One day at a time, right? One gem at a time. That's what we got going on. It's a deep green. A lot of inclusions in there. Yeah, that's the thing. I like the deep green of Diopside. It's a nice money green. Not a lot of gems that are that kryptonite color of green. And that other stuff, it's got a lot of good calcium in it, the Diopside does. So that's why I like it. It's nice. It's formed out of calcium deposits. This is a piece of carnelian I'm working on. I think this piece of carnelian is going to work out. I just don't know what shape to make it. Maybe some kind of a big triangle. Maybe some kind of a bullet shape. I don't know. I'm going to get it down a little farther and polish it up. And it's so included, but it's got this nice orangey color. See how the light's just going right through it? I'm going to try and get rid of those spots. You know, grind down a little bit farther, get rid of those spots so we have a nice even color. Kind of the same thing is going on with the Apatite, right? So that's kind of the plan with this carnelian. It's so hard. I tried the reason it's so scratchy is I tried grinding on it with my worn down 60 grit. Because I got a new 100 grit, but there's two things that'll happen if I do this. One, it'll probably make those inclusions worse, and then it'll crack off. I don't want that to happen. But the other thing that could happen is this will dull down my brand new 100 grit. And I'd rather just, you know, use the worn 60 grit, which kind of cuts like a 100 grit, but it's not as tear into it. Because when the laps are brand new, they will flick chunks out and they hit me in the face, you know. But mostly I just want to get rid of stuff like that because that doesn't look good when it's polished. Kind of neat, but, you know, we're going for more of the even color of gem, more of the thing that you'd find in a crown. So anyway, that's what I got from the microscope portion. Let's run through why'd I buy that. So we can get to the jokes, right? And I can get back to my car. You can get back to your car. I always like the idea of an electric car because they have the potential to be really fast. The only thing is, like, they're never going to be the fastest on the drag strip. Because, like, when you get into energy packets, we're talking about batteries. You know, the two molecules exchanging energy is nowhere near as energy dense, you know, power per weight unit as a hydrocarbon. You know, that's why top fuel dragsters are still the fastest. But we ain't driving around top fuel dragsters. We're driving around stuff that, you know, is going to be good on fuel and still get up and go, baby. I mean, you know, how funny is it to be there and not have a loud exhaust, yet you start smoking your tires? Speaking of smoking tires, how about Rustoleum? That doesn't have anything to do with tires. So I bought some Rustoleum. I bought some gloss black. Why did I buy that? I mean, there's a lot of spray paint out there. And usually the spray paint's like $1 a can, $2 a can. Rustoleum is like $6 a can. I've tried the cheap stuff. I'll tell you one quick story, because I've tried it a few times, but this one story, I had an air conditioner at one of my old places in my 20s, and it had this rusty grill on top, and I was like, you know what, I'll just spray that down. I sprayed it down with some dollar a can spray paint, and like 2 weeks later it was rusty again. Sprayed it down with some Rustoleum, didn't rust out all summer, didn't rust out all winter. It was good stuff. That Rustoleum. And a little bit of a quick backstory. Turns out the guy that invented Rustoleum, he was working on a fishing boat, and he noticed that the bolts where they would spill the fish were all oily and they wouldn't rust. So he was like, well, that's interesting because everything else on the boat's rusty. It's a rusty old fishing boat. But this fish oil's doing something great to help keep the metal fresh. Now fast forward, Rustoleum did change the formula, but it still works. It works great. And that's why I buy that. Do you ever buy Rustoleum? Why'd you buy that? Fire in the bowl. It is fiery. That Rustoleum has some fire red too. I was going to paint my calipers on my car red, but everybody does that. And then I was like, well, let's paint them blue. But no, that doesn't look right. It looks weird. And I thought, well, let's paint them green. And then I was like, no, that doesn't look right either. So what I did is I got a silver car. I spray painted the calipers silver with the same color as the car. And then I printed off the Pontiac logo. It's a Pontiac, right? Printed off the Pontiac logo. Real cool because it's simple. It's a triangle with a little thing on top. And I printed it off, and I used a razor to cut that out of the sheet of printer paper. And I held it up there and went whoosh with the red. And now I got a red Pontiac logo right on the side of my brake caliper. Went back with one of those little, you know, the little paintbrush that you get inside some watercolors when you're a kid. I got like a whole pack of one of those from Walmart for $1. And so I went back with one of those little brushes and some gold and duded the little cross that's in the middle of the Pontiac logo right there on all 4 calipers. So I got calipers that they have a little bit of sport, little bit of lux. I kind of like that. I like how that turned out. I like the satin black. That's, yeah, the satin, the flat. I like a nice, like my Blazer when I was a teenager. I spray painted my dash parts too, you know. And it was a blue, dark blue interior, and I spray painted them with flat white. And it had this like frosty look that made all the pieces look like they were carved out of mint lifesavers. Love that. It's just, you know, the blue and the white, it was nice frosty, it was cool. And it had this, like, the flat had this nice mint lifesaver look. And that's why I bought that. Been using Rustoleum a lot of years. You know what else I've been doing for a few years? Telling jokes. For the grills, they make a high temperature paint for them. Yeah, I was wondering, I've never actually used the high temperature paint. I thought about trying that for, you know, maybe I did actually. I'm not sure. I rebuilt a go-kart with my nephew. And one of the things we did is, you know, it's got the valve cover and it said OHV on this little go-kart engine. So we taped that off, spray painted it, pulled the tape off, and it had the nice, you know, it was showing the OHV. And then the exhaust is the muffler is basically this thing that's about the size of the valve cover, and then it's got a little tube that bolts onto the side. It's, you know, a little go-kart muffler, and it was rusty, just pure rust, like kind of orangish but kind of blackish rust. And so I just sprayed it down with black spray paint, and you know, it's not like a car exhaust, so it's not like I roasted it off of there. I don't remember if I used the high temp paint or not, but I should have. Anyways, what do we got for jokes? You guys ready for some jokes? I got some more headline jokes. Let's see. Would you rather have a screw loose or a loose screw? Either way, you got to get that drill out. Let's see. Yeah, these are bad notes. All right, I'm going to do the political news joke anyway. Yeah, because I just give you everything I got. And I wrote these off of the headlines. So apparently President Biden has fallen off of his bike after attempting to pedal backwards. You'd think with the state of the country, he'd be familiar with pedaling backwards. NBC is offering a look into how each county voted in the primaries. Blindfolded. They voted blindfolded. I don't think that joke's done. R. Kelly has been sentenced to 30 years in federal prison. Apparently, he'll be taking prison showers into his golden years. Supreme Court Justice is about to retire. Supreme Court Justice Breyer is about to retire. Apparently, he knows when to pull out. Terrible jokes. Terrible. This is more of my style. This is more of the stuff I need to write for the show. I feel I'm qualified to serve in the Supreme Court because I love pizza with olives. Actually, I don't. I don't like olives, but I will, when I'm hungry enough, I will eat some Supreme pizza with olives, peppers, and all that stuff that I don't like. Onions and all that. The stuff that, like, if I make my own pizza, instead of putting that on, I just put more pepperoni on. And maybe mushrooms and some Canadian bacon and some cheddar. And all right, we're moving on. Got jokes. Got to tell the jokes. German boy was found by police after being lost in the sewer for a few days. Apparently, he was trying to teach the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles how to be more elusive. Stumbling blocks, but we got through that one. Police are saying he smelled worse than the Foot Clan. Bison at Yellowstone has gored a Yellowstone visitor for the second time this year. Police are calling it a gory event. Martial artists Ken and Ryu are planning to street fight the bison. Because they M. Bison is the bad guy, and this bison is probably related to him somehow. Taco Bell's newest food uses an oversized Cheez-It, which apparently comes with oversized toilet paper. Netflix canceled another show after only one season. So much for The Bachelorette Supreme Court edition. We're getting close to being done. I'm getting there, Great jokes. Great jokes, right? NASA's first images from the Webb telescope brought scientists to tears. They must have been looking at the bill. Or maybe they were straining so hard to try and actually see something. I don't know. There's so many potentials for that, but I didn't get anywhere with it. Maybe we'll rewrite it and come back to it next week. Let's see. I think I told this joke last week, but I added a little to it, so let's tell it again. Rudy Giuliani was slapped at a supermarket. Apparently Will Smith is on a rampage. And I was at the bar, and I asked a girl if she wanted me to Will Smith her booty. She Will Smithed me in the face cheek. Ukrainian President Zelensky has been pleading with the UN to act immediately. The UN has replied by saying, "Do I have to?" I don't know. I think that joke needs a little more action. Couple more. 109 live animals found in a woman's luggage in an airport in Thailand. She was rewarded for single-handedly trying to address the food shortage. Authorities asked her if she could do anything about the baby formula shortage. She said she could handle that single-breastedly. But it might take two hands. Let's see, we got two more of them. These are more of the cheesy ones that you come to love. What do you get when you cross a pig and a whale? Hamu. No? Okay, last one. A farmer has been giving his horse allergy medicine because the horse has nasal problems. Maybe it would help if the horse was here for the joke portion of the program. I sure hope that helped you with your nasal problems. We're going to do a little bit more of it next week. Oh, we had some more people come by just in time for the jokes. I got to give a shout out to Buds and Hazard for hanging out and chatting with me for the show. He's awesome. He's here, and I had the chat bot running, so you're earning some gems, buddy. That's what happens when I run the chat bot. You earn hours and you earn points that we call gems. I got to figure out what to do with them. Something about a giveaway or something like that. We'll get to that point. And Scrapping made it. What's up, Scrapping? Tell people what you got coming up on your channel. There was these 3 nuns. 2 walked into a bar and the 3rd one ducked. Ah, that 3rd one, she'll get you every time. Scrapping. I'm glad you guys like the joke portion of the show. Hi, Colette. How you doing? Queen of the Rubies. Glad you made it. Gromy's made it. All right. Glad you made it into the show just in time. Oh, yeah, I had that 4th of July joke. I should tell that, too, since that's tomorrow. Finally made it to the show. Let's see. Where's the 4th of July joke? We're going to tell that one more time, just in case anybody missed it. Some people like to celebrate the 4th of July. I like to celebrate the 5th of July, where I celebrate the month of July by drinking a 5th of whiskey. Cheers to the 4th of July. Don't drink and shoot fireworks. You'll have too much fun and go into a fun overload. And also, it's not very safe, so you don't want to do that. But Jeanette Korzenko made it, and Kalakis. How's it going, Kalakis and Jeanette Korzenko? Man, we got a lot of fantastic people coming by and saying hello. Just in time for the end of the show, my account was hijacked. Well, maybe it should get a low jack. That doesn't make any sense at all. Come talk to me about it on the YouTube Administrator channel. I'm going to be doing that a little later. I think I'm going to play that new Ninja Turtle game. I don't know. It's going to be a little while. I wanted to go outside and finish working on my car. Almost done. So, let's see. We got through everything. Oh, you know what I got to do is I keep talking about Tom Kelly. I need to actually have him on the show. That's the first thing I need to do. But the other thing I wanted to do is invite you all over to his stream. I don't think he's having a friggin' stream tonight, though. That's the sucky part. Of all the nights when I invite you to come over to his live stream, because he's actually been doing this YouTube thing where he live streams on YouTube, but it's a premiere, one of the premiere show thingers.
I guess I got there later. So.
Okay, there we go. That's one of his interviews. But darn, he's not doing it tonight, which is okay because I got to get out there and do my car. But here is the link. Clink. And there, in case anybody wants to make a salad, I'll throw a tomato out there. So, yeah, that's going to be tomorrow night. And so hopefully I'll see you there if you're not around. Otherwise, I'll see you on the game channel, or I'll see you next week at 9 p.m. Eastern, and maybe on Tuesday. We'll see about that. Have a great week, all. You are fantastically awesome, 9,000.